Alright, welcome to Doozer Shop. On location in Grand Island, New York. Got the Rockford planer on the trailer, and I got it lashed down for the trip. Thought I'd bring you guys around and show you the pre-trip inspection. Alright, making sure we're rolling here. We got it all on there. I'm working with some sunlight here. I don't know, hope this doesn't mess up the shot. So I got it balanced on the trailer. I've got a little over 1,000 pounds of tongue weight, about 1,200 pounds of tongue weight. And I'll kind of show you, this is before I cover it up. I got it all chained down. So kind of go over it. I got the overarm down, touching the table for a lower center of gravity. All right, got her down there, and had a little difficulty with the gearbox lowering it down, but I figured it all out, and I'll cover that in maybe another video. But so we kind of back up from the, alright, there it is from the back. Alright, so holding it down to the trailer, I have those two load binders on the side with the crisscross chains. Alright, and that's got the wood blocking so I don't scratch the table. Got the screw binders holding it to the trailer. I'm gonna show you on the other side. Got that holding it down. Crisscross, everything's blocked. Any place it could rub, we got some carpet rolled up there. Got carpet up top. I can't even see, the sun's in my eyes. Yep, carpet up top so it doesn't cut the tarp. So that gold chain holds it from moving backward, and this rusty colored chain holds it from moving forward. So it's stabilized front to back, and it's being held down across the middle there with those two chains and binders. And on this side I've got a 2-inch strap holding the motor end of it down. That motor's on a really beefy bracket. It's pretty stout. So we've got essentially 3 points holding it down, and 1 holding it from going forward, and 1 holding it from going backwards. And see, I got the carpet up there. Don't want to break the tarp. Okay, now let me get up here on the deck. All right, so I got a block of wood underneath the cable, the counterweight cable, and so there's separate counterweights for that side head, and there's a separate cable and counterweight for the large cross rail. So they go on pulleys, and inside the column, you step up here, our weights up there. So what I did, there's 2 bars going across. The weights are sitting on them 2 bars, so they're not dangling freely, and they're not hanging on the cables any longer. Otherwise, it'd be ringing like church bells going down the highway. And to immobilize the top, I put a tractor inner tube in between the weights, the counterweights at the top. You can see where the cable's attached, and I'm just down below the very top part of the weights. So that's what I got. There's 2 weights in there in the column, immobilized at the top by the inner tube inflated, and I got the bars going through the bottom where they're sitting on the bar. So the deal is, I had to I believe the cross rail needs to go down a little bit more to fully lift the weight. And it's almost at the end of its stroke, but not quite. I think it needs to come another 4, 5, 6 inches. So because I couldn't move the table, right, I had to pull that cable a little bit to get the weight up far enough to stick my bar underneath the weight. So that's what that's about. And I just left the block there just to keep a little tension on the cable. But they're immobilized at the top, like I said, with that inner tube stuck in the hand hole, inspection hole there. So the weights are immobilized. That's important on a machine like this. On my Giddings & Lewis boring mill, I had to do the same thing because this got counterweights in the column, very similar construction. I'll show you in another video, but I had trouble moving the cross rail. And what I did is, you know, there's a gib there. I loosened the gib. It's a tapered gib. There is a tapered gib on the back part. There's rails, ways on the side. So I looped back that gib out. So there's about a 16th or more slack. About a 16th. And the same with here. And it was still giving me fits. It would only lower down to a certain point. So this is a power feed gearbox for the cross rail, and for the up and down, kneel down here. So this is a gearbox, and there's forward and reverse. This is to make the side head go up and down. And the deal is the cross rail and the side head are on the same set of ways that on the column, you know, vertical up and down ways. So I had to get this side head free, and I had to crank it down so I could lower the rail down, but this wouldn't crank down. And the reason it wouldn't is inside this gearbox, I can kind of show you, inside there the grease had turned into hard, it looked like cat litter almost. It was petrified grease, and it was jamming in the teeth of the gear. So I took these Allen screws out and I pulled the whole thing apart, and I spent like 2 hours with gasoline and a brush cleaning all the petrified grease out of that gearbox so I could crank the side shaper head down so I could get the ram down. You see that they're actually touching. That's how tight they are, and I can kind of show you. It's right there from almost touching the table. So now that I got that down for a lower center of gravity, like I said, I had to pull that cable out to get the counterweight just a bit higher. But yeah, everything is built right to the numbers, I guess, on this machine as far as the cable lengths and everything. You know, but this gearbox is hunky-dory. I'm probably going to take it apart again when I get home, clean it extra thoroughly with lacquer thinner and this and that, and make sure it's really clean. Maybe even take it apart. But it had grease in it. I'm assuming it was like a #1 grease. I don't know if you can fill it with oil, because this shaft is on the bottom, for forward, reverse, and neutral. You would have to have a seal or an O-ring or something to hold oil. And even an inch of oil would be good, because, you know, it'd travel up the gears. So I'm going to look at that. I might take that apart and take the shaft out and see if there's an O-ring or a seal. And maybe, I know it's down on the top. I can't see. It might be a fill plug. I don't know. But it had grease in it, and it was petrified like you would not believe. Like I said, it looked like kitty litter mixed with grease. It was freaking awful. So anyway, so after that challenge was figured out, I got the side shaping head down, and I got the cross rail down. So I cleaned all these ways first. I scraped them with like a razor blade, and I made sure everything was clean before I moved it, and lubricated with 30 weight oil. And I moved everything up and down at least, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 times. Kept adding oil. There's some Gitz cups, added oil. There's some grease fittings. Well, there's some Zerk fittings there, and I got to see if they're for, I'm assuming they're for oil. There's a grease fitting on the side of the machine. It says it's for grease, but you know, I got the manual. I'm gonna consult everything. Yeah, I don't know. See, on my Giddings & Lewis on the column, it's got flip top, clear glass flip top oil reservoirs, like oil dripper type oilers. So you flip the oiler on and it starts dripping. Maybe that's a good idea for these. It gives you constant oil flowage when you're using it. So whatever. So that's what that is. Like I say, this is my chains on the table. Make sure that nothing's going to damage it with the chains, and I got it all blocked in. And everything should be ready for transport. I'm going to put the tarp on and take it down the road here on Grand Island. And I had to take some oil lines down, and I taped them so they're secure, and I got the carpet taped up there because I don't want the tarp to be cut. I bought a brand new tarp, a really good one, $60 tarp. So anyways, and all the chains are you know, rated, and I got brand new binders, and I got the bags the chains came in case I get stopped and the cops want to know, you know, what exactly do you got going on here. I got the bags, and it says the working limits, and you know, I got some transport chain, and I got some this other chain is actually 3/8. It's rated higher than the transport chain, and I hope I don't have a problem. But this rusty looking chain, this is from my dad. Had a bridge construction business. This is his chain he loaned me, and that's a 3/8 chain. So that we've used this chain for years. This is a really good chain used to haul construction equipment and such. And like I said, I threw one on the motor. We got to hold down this end of it, and basically the table is kind of in the middle. So the center of gravity is kind of right where that rail is. So we got it holding 2 points there, really cinched down well. And I got a, you know, the 2-inch. This is only a couple years old. This 2-inch strap, but yeah, everything is. This is as good as I know how to strap it down. I mean, you could probably tip this trailer right side over, and the machine should stay on it. So you know, got the latch locked down for the tilt deck. So the D-rings are part of the tilt deck, and the stake pockets are part of the actual frame of the trailer that is stationary. So by having this on there and that chain on there, you're keeping the deck in, you know, forcing it, holding it in the down position. So even if this latch would come loose, which it can't because it's pinned, you're still double securely holding the trailer from tipping by the chains and whatever you're binding down. So I checked the air pressure in the tires. I'm right at 80 psi, and that's what the load rating is. And I think I got a little over 1,000 pounds of to the good with my weight rating. I got 1,000 pounds to spare, but I mean, she's heavy. I bought a nice heavy trailer to haul it. I think I'm doing everything correctly here to be safe and not have an incident on the road. I'm going to take it slow, maybe 55, 60. Even if it's a 70 zone, I'm going to keep it right down to 60. Just because I know that the tires get hot, the bearings get hot. I just don't want to press my luck. I got a entire day. I got 2 days even if I want to have for the journey. So yeah, I'm kind of in the shade here. This is nice. So there she is. I got it on the trailer. Wanted to show you guys before I hook it up, and kind of a step-by-step process with my videos here. Thought you'd appreciate seeing, you know, getting a machine, getting it, you know, pulled out, loaded, and rigged into position. And I'll show you the videos when I get home of taking it off the trailer. That should be fun. Got my buddy helping me here, putting it on. When I get home, I'll have my dad come over, and he'll help me make sure I don't kill myself taking it off the trailer. So, from Grand Island, New York, this is Doozer's shop.